He looks like he owns credit. Oh my gosh. Man like Arthur from Batman.
Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, privet, bonjour, hola, ciao, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Ken at 10. How are you? It's a bright and sunny morning, approaching Easter now. Exciting, isn't it? Here in Norbury SW16. A little bit overcast, a little bit cloudy, and a little bit cold, but the sun is shining through quite nicely. As you can probably see from this broadcast, we are live as the sun peeks over the clouds there. How are you? Hope you're well. A few things to report today. And then I want to talk to you about something that I saw on the Daily Stoic. You know, I've mentioned this to you before. This guy that does Stoicism, which is just a way of life, really. But there's a lot to it, and it's all good. And you can sign up for it at dailystoic.com. And I recommend you do. I'll tell you a little story they came across within a minute. But first of all, house sellers cut asking prices by 14,000. This is the latest headline in the Times and the Telegraph. It says the monthly house price index revealed that the home sellers in the UK are offering an average discount of 4% or 14,000. Despite a 43% increase in demand for properties compared to last year, the volume of sales has dropped by only 16%. This is due to sellers being more realistic about their pricing. So I think they're saying that prices are offering an average discount of 14,000, but of course it depends where you start. It says the average estate agent now has 25 homes available compared to 14 a year ago, giving buyers more options and more choice. Zoopla reported that rapid rent increase in the strong labour market and lower mortgage rates are supporting demand for house purchases. However, properties are taking an average of 15 days longer to sell than a year ago. The next one is, where do you think is the most expensive seaside town in the UK? I know what you're thinking, but it's actually not, apparently. It's Salcombe in Devon. I know you're thinking Sandbanks, as was I, but apparently Salcombe in Devon has been named as the most expensive seaside town for home buyers. The average price of a house in Salcombe in Devon is 1.2 million. No wonder people were living there up in arms. Can you imagine being like a local person working in that area and trying to get on the housing ladder with your family and everything, and the average price is 1.24 million? It's a real problem. And you can understand it, you know, from a buyer's point of view. They want their second homes in beautiful, idyllic seaside towns. But what about the people that grew up in those beautiful, idyllic seaside towns and find themselves in this position? It's a real problem. But anyway, it must be a very beautiful place to be so expensive. They researched 209 seaside towns. This is Halifax did it. And areas popular include and dominate the list. Sandbanks, the second most expensive, which is 952,000. It does surprise me that Salcombe in Devon is more expensive than Sandbanks, because that's got some really posh gaffs there. So incredible, really. And then it goes on to say that the other ones are Aldeburgh, I hope I pronounced that correctly, on the Suffolk coast, and then Padstow in Cornwall was in fourth place. So interesting to see that. What else have we got in the way of headlines today? Renters are returning to Airbnb for longer term lets. So estate agents are reporting that people are turning to Airbnb because there's nothing available on the private rental market. And of course, that's a much more expensive way to go for tenants, but it's the way they're finding some available stock. And the problem is that those rates are so much higher, and it just goes to underline the problem here in the UK. But the truth is that unless we build more houses, this is an ongoing problem. It's not going to get any better anytime soon, until housing policy realizes that you need to build in order to provide housing for people. We are way below the level of homes required here in London, and that's not getting better anytime soon. Lastly, from Bloomberg and the Financial Times, they're saying that they're hinting at a May interest rate rise, yet another one. However, the bank needs to remain vigilant to signs of toughening, said the Hugh Pill, the chief economist. And they're saying that banks will have to cut rates sooner to make sure inflation does not actually fall beyond its target, because they're expecting it to fall quite rapidly. It says as the effects of large and rapid tightening in policy gradually come through over 2023 and 24, it's likely to drag demand well below the 2% inflation range. So the good news is, medium term, we should be looking at lower interest rates. But in the short term, we may be in for one more raising of rates. We'll see. Only time will tell. Now, Stoicism, what I was telling you about. This guy was saying that, you know, when people really frustrate you, and when you're in a situation where you're kind of thinking, oh, why are they doing that? There was this thing in Stoicism where you've got to understand that some things are just in people's nature. And the way that the guy related it was that he was annoyed because he's got a bird feeder. And on that bird feeder, whenever he puts the bird seed out, along come the squirrels, jump up, nick the bird feed. And it made him angry every time he saw it. And then when he thought about it and related it to people's nature, he said, well, that's because the squirrel's just trying to get their food. It's just in their nature. It makes me angry because I want to watch the birds, pretty birds, come and get to the feeder. But the truth is, it's in the nature. So next time someone annoys you, remember, give yourself the thought that it's just in their nature. It's nothing to do with you, nothing you can impact. So chill out. Don't stress about it. That's the point. I thought it was quite a good one. Hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow with another edition. Till then, look after yourselves and if you can, your family and friends. Ciao.